Now the outdoor tomatoes, I put them there, I have to be honest, they're not doing brilliantly. I mean, look, there are tomatoes there, and this is northern Scotland, remember, so I don't know if they'll actually ripen. But this corner that we had down here, you might remember we had the little vertical planter in last year. Well, look at that. I mean, is that not just brilliant? All grown really well in the little plastic bottles, and the plastic bottles are bedded down into the little shelf to keep them nice and moist. And I'm even, ooh, there's a nice one. I love that. Oh, wow, intense. So, wall planter experiment, tick VG, works just great. So here's the peas I've just started picking today. You might remember I put a couple of meters of them in, not a great deal. And I've picked some of them. I mean, I've missed more than I think I've actually picked. But look how much I'm getting out of there, just picking them. I mean, there's a couple of pounds of peas there from about a half picked metre. Now I've still got this lovely section along here to pick yet. I'm going to have to get them done because they're going to go over very quickly. And but they're doing really well. So experiment on the peas, tick VG, great success. Now remember the experiment up against this wall here, I put the clematis in. Well, they've done very well, but equally, look at that, so have the Jerusalem artichokes, geraniums, I've got sunflowers in there, a bit of heather, and that's a beautiful sunflower, look at that. And the mirrors, of course, because mirrors, hello, mirrors are brilliant for just extending your garden. Psychologically, you feel like your garden's a wee bit bigger. So in the narrow points, I pop a couple of mirrors in. Now here's something new I'm trying. Leeks. So I'm going to try them in buckets and see what we get coming out of them. So experiment 2, the big shady fence, tick VG. Now do you remember the herb barrow where I said we'll have a go at planting some herbs in this old barrow? Well, tick VG, have a look at this. I mean, what do you make of that? It's just gone absolutely crazy. This little corner has proved to be really good for bringing on seedlings too. As you can see, I'm getting it done. So we've got chives, garlic chives, lemon balm, parsley, mint. Oh, I've got all sorts of stuff in here, and it's all doing extremely well. So I think I have to say, experiment 3, the herby flowery corner, tick VG, very good. I remember the side of my house has got this enormous big stone chip and wall, and I thought we'd put some buckets there and plant up a few bits and pieces. Well, just take a look at this. How about that little lot? Is that not just amazing? Look at these runner beans, and look at the amount of flowers that's on there. So I think we're going to get some intense veggie back from there. Now these are a few collies I've put in buckets again against the wall, try and capture some of that heat. So wall planting, let's say David Bellamy in here somewhere, but it's been an amazing success. I mean, look at that. The only problem I've got with it is keeping it well watered, but if all goes well, I should get some good crop back from this. Tick VG. Now, despite planting carrots out of these tubs, I made the mistake of leaving a few tetties in from last year, and look at that. So I have to say, as carrot planters, failed miserably, absolutely failed miserably. But as potato planters, fantastic. Tick VG. So do you remember we had a few old pallets and I said I'd try and knock up a bit of a bench and do a couple of things with them? Well, have a look at this. Now you can see that this is working by the amount of bloody rubbish that I've got it on already. So I use the top of it as kind of a potting bench. I knocked a couple of little shelves up underneath so I can keep all my bits and pieces in there out the way. And cost me nought. Now I had a couple of lengths like this on the end of a pallet, so we'll have a quick look at what we made with those. So I'm not sure if you can make them out, but I made them into little planter boxes. Now they're okay, except some of the plants I've put in, these chard have gone to seed straight away. Now that's probably just my poor watering rather than anything else. But as little boxes, I have to say it, tick VG, it worked. So you no doubt remember how much I love sunflowers and borage. Well, this year I just put the two together. So I've put this huge clump right next to where I've got the courgettes. The idea being that as all the bees come in, they'll come down from the borage, they'll go down to the courgette flowers and they'll pollinate them as well. So hopefully I'll get a nice heavy crop of courgettes. Now I'll tell you what, mind, those cabbages aren't looking too bad either. When you consider this as a tiny little garden, I'm getting an awful lot of food out of it at the minute. Now you've seen me make these CD bird scarers up before, nice and slack, nice and loose, so the wind gives them a lot of movement and the reflecting lights chase away the birds. Unfortunately, they don't do anything for the bloody caterpillars. Never mind, I'll see what I can knock up for that. Now these big tubs have been a smashing success this year. I'm almost using them as like a little nursery to put plants and things in. See some basil growing away in the back there. Now I did have a whole load of lettuce in here as well, but you know what, I got the caterpillars on it. Now that's the first time I've ever seen a serious invasion of caterpillars on lettuce plants. Wow, just look at the growth on these. That's all the borage that the bees absolutely adore. You can eat it too. Take the leaves, wash them, dip them in a tempura batter and then flash fry them. They're great. And of course the sunflowers, they give you seeds. Now the caterpillars have had a pretty good time on these collies, but equally, look at that spinach hidden away in there. My goodness me, it really does pay to let your plants crowd together a bit. Now again, we've got more borage down here. I've already started eating the cabbages, and I did have a little bit of earwigs, believe it or not, on the top of them, but other than that, they're crisp, they're white and they're gorgeous. Once those onions dry out a bit, we'll have them picked as well. And those marigolds, they're on the salad tonight. But look at this queen of a pumpkin. Look, if you look at the size of it, it's absolutely growing massive, and it's still throwing out tendrils. And there's the important bits, look. See, we've got the male and the female flowers tucked away there. Don't know if you can just make them out. So I should get some nice pumpkins off there. Now I've got two plants in. One at the back's not doing so well, but we'll let it go a bit. Courgettes are doing well on the flowers, but I'm not seeing an awful lot of fruit coming off them yet. One or two tiny little ones there. They'll get shredded up and put on the salad tonight, and that'll be pretty darn good. But if you look at the garden, it's absolutely rich and green, and this bit of weather we've had has been first class for it. Look at those tomatoes. Look at that. Don't know if you can see them there, but the plants are dripping with them. They're still green. They haven't actually started to ripen yet. Well, actually not too true. There's two ripe. Now you might remember last year that Debbie got my ripe tomato. She is not getting it this year. I'm not even going to let her know when I'm going to eat it. And I'm going to slice it up thin, a little bit of oil drizzled on it, cracked sea salt, bit of fresh basil, and I'm going to have that. Well, it's early in the morning, but you know what? It's harvesting time. And you might remember these? Well, look at that. And also, the first tomatoes. She's not getting it this year. She's not. But I thought I'd pick a few of these beans before they get too big, because when they get too long, they get very stringy. Whereas when they're that big like that, you can top and tail them, and I find stir-fried with a little bit of garlic oil and some butter is absolutely lovely. Now don't pick them when they're like that. That's just too small completely. You need them with a little bit of size on them, like that one. See that one there? Nice size. That's the sort of size I'm going for. And if I pick them, then the goodness that's left in the plant will go to the other beans, and they'll continue to grow to a nice size. Now I used to grow big beans, big exhibition things, you know, they were like 1.5 foot long, but man, you couldn't eat them. You couldn't even pickle them, and if you did pickle them, you didn't want to eat them. They were horrible. So I thought I'd just have a quick much through here. You see, that's about as big as you want. Once you get bigger than that, they get strings in them. They're not very pleasant. Well, I mean, if you like stringed beans, they probably are, but I don't like them all stringy. I like them fresh and crisp with a little bit of flavour. Now I've also got a few bits of lettuce, maybe another tomato or two, and some fresh onions to pick. And when I get all of them, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a nice lunch to me. Maybe with a little bit of local salmon. If only I had some. So we'll pick a few more of these, and then maybe I'll let you have a look at them when they're stir fried. Keep the faith. You can live in a little garden, in a little house, in a little town, and still grow a shed load of vegetables.